Hit subscribe, please. Hey, folks, and welcome to High Spots and Cheap Pumps. And this is our AEW Dynamite review for January 12th, 2022. Wow, where does the time go? We're going to open tonight's show. We have Adam Cole. I didn't do the baby, it's fine. Flanked by Red Dragon. And it was story time with Adam Cole. And he comes out, again, flanked by Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. And he says that he's beaten everybody that he can in singles competition. He's never been beaten. He's never been pinned or submitted. And he said to a monster pop to the AEW audience, he said, it's time for a new era. And if anyone knows them, when NXT used to be a decent product, they were running that place. And that was, of course, the Undisputed Era. Crowd popped, but then the Bucks came out, back from COVID, and they were quite upset. Obviously, there's a little bit of a rivalry between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. When they get into the ring, the Bucks say that they want to win the AEW Championships. They're the longest reigning champions in AEW history, and in the new year, they want to win their championships back. And then Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly specifically said, hey, that's what we want to do. And Bobby Fish also reiterated that they also want to win the AEW Tag Team titles. And then it was kind of dick measuring at that particular point in time. And Adam Cole brings it in and say, hey, look, guys, we're the greatest faction. However, he never mentioned the faction's name. Now, obviously, they were the Elite just a few weeks ago. Since Kyle O'Reilly's been on the horizon, it seems as though it might be a new name. And obviously, we have heard that Paragon, #Paragon, has been named. And Adam Cole said that there's no other factions that can even touch them. And they talked about the Best Friends. Best Friends come out, they start a fight, and Adam Cole was left with Orange Cassidy in the ring. And then Adam Cole hits Cassidy with a low blow. So Chris Statlander, after the low blow, confronts Adam Cole, says, hey, watch out, buddy. And then who comes to Adam Cole's rescue? Why, his dear lady friend, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, hits Statlander from behind. And then Adam Cole follows up on Cassidy with a last shot. This faction between Red Dragon, Young Bucks, and Adam Cole, and now it looks like Dr. Britt Baker, at least for a one-off next week. They are all standing tall and happy. Adam Cole and Britt Baker's happy, but the two tag teams not so much. So obviously we know we are headed directly to a Red Dragon Young Bucks match. And before we have a chance to breathe, you hear the great music of MJF. He comes out, and then obviously Wardlow comes out, and it's time for Wardlow and CM Punk. Quite frankly, folks, this should have been the main event, in my opinion. Maybe because of the way it was booked, they didn't want to, but that's understandable. Also, main event is going to be for a title, so I understand it. MJF first comes out, then comes Wardlow. When CM Punk comes out, he comes out signing autographs for everybody. This match was all Wardlow, really from beginning to about one point in the match. CM Punk got a little bit of momentum going. He actually was punching Wardlow on the second turnbuckle. Saw MJF, gave him the finger, was distracted by MJF, and Wardlow hit CM Punk with his first powerbomb. I really hammered home the first powerbomb point because that was not the last. There was going to be a second one, a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one, a sixth one, and a seventh one. And after the first three, Wardlow seemed like he was about to win, but MJF said, no, you got to do some more damage. Wardlow picked him up again, powerbomb for the fifth time. Same exact thing. After the seventh powerbomb, Wardlow again was good at asking if he should cover, but MJF is saying no more. This time, CM Punk rolled outside the ring. Well, that just set up MJF screaming at Wardlow to put CM Punk through a table at ringside. And in the eighth powerbomb of this match, CM Punk put through a table. It was devastating. And honestly, how did CM Punk survive any of it? That would be a slight problem I have. Like, he had 8 powerbombs. But anyway, CM Punk barely makes it back into the ring. Now, this makes a little bit of sense. It gave CM Punk an opportunity to recover. He gets back right at the split second of 10. Kind of saw that coming. But great story being told here. Wardlow was about to give him yet his final powerbomb, his 9th powerbomb of the night. And if you remember Bret the Hitman Hart beating Diesel for the World Championship in 1995 Survivor Series, you will remember this spot. Wardlow looking kind of almost feeling sad for CM Punk, says, I guess I'll powerbomb him again. And he goes for the next powerbomb. Wouldn't you know it, folks? Small package CM Punk gets the 1, the 2, and the 3, beats Wardlow, much to the chagrin of MJF. So much so, that's not where this segment stopped. MJF comes in the ring, screaming at Wardlow, saying, "You never get the job done in a big match. You beat all the jobbers," screaming at him. Finally pushes him. And we've been teasing this breakup for really, well over a year, if you really think about it, but certainly a lot more as of late. And I think the entire crowd, including myself, thought this might be the night. This might be the night Wardlow turns. MJF started poking his finger right in it to Wardlow, and Wardlow grabbed his hand, and that's when Shawn Spears came in, smoothed it all out. Wardlow is pissed off. He walks in the back. MJF is still pissed off. He walked in the back. Wardlow goes in the back with Spears. MJF is still pissed off because CM Punk beat Wardlow. And by the way, MJF is still 0-1. MJF got on the mic and was passionate. And he goes, "Fine, you guys finally want it. You guys finally want the match everyone wants to see." And unfortunately for us, it's going to be CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. Kind of a good rib by MJF working the crowd again and again. Cowardice not wanting to face CM Punk. So next up, we have my man, Powerhouse Hobbs, and he's going to take on Dante Martin. Ricky Starks is out with Hobbs. Hobbs had most of this match in the early going. Ricky Starks consistently, though, getting its cheap shots, beating on Dante every chance that he got. Toward the end, Dante had a couple of really nice moves. Look, it's a Dante Martin match. He's going to do some crazy shit with his body, right? Starks got involved one more time toward the end of the match, but this time, a guy that people have been begging to come on TV for a while, my man, Jay Lethal, shows up, attacks Ricky Starks, keeps him from interfering further. That evens the odds. Dante gets the one-up on Roy Hobbs. I keep on calling him Roy Hobbs from The Natural, but if you're under 35, you're not going to get that. Hell, if you're under 40, you might not get that. So Dante Martin had the odds even against Powerhouse Hobbs, and he hits his finisher, gets the 1-2-3, and he goes to win. And Jay, as he is walking out with Dante Martin, said, "It wasn't fair. Sorry, it wasn't fair." So Jay Lethal basically saying, "I'm being a good guy here. I'm taking care of it." But folks, Jay Lethal is on your television on Wednesday nights, so be happy for that. Woo! Oh, by the way, MJF came out and cut that promo after that match. I want to be clear. Sorry about that, folks. I was just keeping them together for continuity. Or I didn't read the script right. And so after that, we go to the Elite in the back, or the Elite Era, or the Paragon, or whoever. And it's kind of a very funny spot. Everyone has some fun with Brandon Cutler throughout this. But anyway, the long story short of this, Adam Cole and Britt Baker, DMD, well, they challenge Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy to a match next Wednesday in a mixed match. And we are getting it next Wednesday Dynamite. You'll see Britt Baker and Adam Cole, baby, and Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. And then the horses hit. That's right. Hangman Adam Page comes out. He cuts his first promo after successfully defending his title last week against the American Dragon. And he said he went 90 minutes, and he gave Bryan Danielson a lot of respect, but he says he needs a new challenger. And out comes Dan Lambert. Of all people, folks, Dan Lambert. And I'll tell you what, Dan Lambert cut a great promo. The guy doesn't stop. He hits every point he wants. He basically calls Hangman a phony cowboy and says that he is embarrassing in comparison to all the great cowboy wrestlers of the past, and he named all the great ones. And challenges Lambert to get in the ring, and he says, "Well, look, buddy, I'm not doing that. I'll see you later." As he's walking out, Lance frickin' Archer, thank God he's okay. He's back. He looked bigger and more pissed off and more badass than ever. His music hits. Since he was a babyface last time and had a problem with Lambert last time, everyone thought, if you remembered it, which I didn't actually, I totally forgot about that. But he thought he was going after Lambert. And as he's getting in the ring, Lambert says, "Look, there's the world champion right there. Use your head. This is an opportunity to go after him." And Lance Archer, I don't know if it was planned, but he did it. He stopped going after Dan Lambert, attacks Hangman Adam Page, winds up putting Hangman Adam Page with his red eye, his finisher, through a chair. So it looks like we're going to get a Hangman Lance Archer. I know that's not going to blow a lot of skirts up, as they say. However, it's a good opponent for Hangman to get a couple wins under his belt. Look, he only has one successful title defense, and he's a champion for 2 months now. So I think it's a good thing for him to get a couple of victories before he loses to whoever wins the MJF and CM Punk feud. Inner Circle promo, where they're talking about 2.0 and Garcia, and nothing really big there. Eddie Kingston comes out and he says, look, I need Garcia. Look what he did to my leg. That's some real shit. That's some real shit, dog. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, Eddie Kingston then basically says that you suck, Jericho. You're a jerk-off, Jericho. You're stupid, Jericho. He didn't say that, but he wasn't very respectful. And he also, most importantly, pointed out that Pride and Powerful would be tag team champions if it wasn't for Chris Jericho. And by the way, if you look at the character arc and history, Eddie Kingston may have a very good point right there and a very valid point. Pride and Powerful. I mean, Chris Jericho, how many tag teams has gotten a title shot that Jericho is in opposed to Pride and Powerful? I think they've gotten 1 or 2 total. Just put it out there. Jericho got a lot of opportunities, and he's been in 3 different tag teams. MJF, Sammy Guevara, and then Jake Hager. Why were there always tag teams? So you can kind of see where Eddie Kingston's building some character there and kind of saying some real shit. Because I think a lot of us thought that Pride and Powerful has really been lost in the shuffle in the inner circle. Just putting it out there. I don't know if Kingston's the heel in this situation or they're just going to let the crowd kind of decide, but I don't think anyone's going to boo Kingston over Jericho. Then we go to my man, my favorite horseman ever, the beautiful and talented clock-carrying Arn Anderson, and he's with his son, Britt Anderson. See how I combined them. Arn Anderson comes out and he says that it's Horseman Country, and he says you guys can feel it. And when he says Horseman Country, cue Tully Blanchard and the greatest tag team on the planet, FTR. And basically, FTR clowns Brock Anderson, saying, your dad wishes I was his son, and that we honor the Horseman legacy more than you guys ever do. And they basically challenge the young tag team, which is going to be Brock Anderson, of course, Shotty Lee Johnson, under the tutelage of Arn Anderson, to FTR, which of course is Tully Blanchard's. Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson shaking hands after the fact. Tully Blanchard actually offered Arn Anderson to come over once he gets rid of the dead weight, including Brock Anderson. It was really good, Branto. Go check that out. Then, a very interesting turn of events. We had the time for my homegirl. I absolutely love her. The woman of 1,000 holds, Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. Shida comes out first. She's jumped from behind. I think there might be a real injury here because this never really turned into a real match. During Shida's intro, Deeb attacks her from behind and really goes after her leg. Shida apparently very injured before the match starts. Match then starts, and Serena Deeb just goes nuts, goes crazy, and gets her in a half crab to the point where the referee stops the match. My point is, Hikaru Shida didn't really do anything athletic in this match. She just kind of took heat. So this could be a way to write her off TV, because after the match, Deeb also attacked her with a kendo stick, and she really sold the shit out of this leg being injured. So Shida might be hurt here, or there might be some reason why she's going to be off TV for a little bit. I don't know. It just seems like it was a very weird setup match. I mean, usually Tony could do something like that, but you'd have a match on top of it. So I thought it was a little bit weird, but I think Shida won't be on TV for quite a little bit. Another thing to note at the end of the Shida match, as Serena Deeb was leaving, Tay Conte, Anna Jay, and another babyface wrestler came out and helped Hikaru Shida. And I don't know what the connection is. I really don't. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I digress. Jurassic Express is in the back getting interviewed. Christian in tow. Jungle Boy, who talks now. Interestingly enough, he's the one that talks. And Luchasaurus, all he does is stick his tongue out and pretend like he's a dinosaur. But he's big and athletic, and he does kicks. So I like Luchasaurus. It's cool. Jungle Boy says he wants a top 5 challenger for the tag team titles. And cue one of my favorite tag teams, Silver and Reynolds of the Dark Order. John Silver and Alex Reynolds, since they're the top 5 in everything. And it would probably be a little bit more loot if it was on BTE. But they set up a tag team title match. They will defend the championship. They beat Jurassic Express. Will defend the tag team championships for the first time on Rampage. Or it's probably happening right about now since we recorded shortly after the show. And Rampage is taped right after this. And next we had Penta, Zero, Miedo, and Matt Hardy. This was a fun match, seeing two guys who are probably going to go down as legends when it's all said and done. Probably won't wrestle that many more times in their careers either, so it was fun. They both got their gimmicks over, but obviously, look, you're not going to have 5-star matches with Matt Hardy at this elevated career. It was a good, entertaining match, though, but it was not entertaining enough for Matt Hardy's taste, as Penta El Zero Miedo, he beats him. He gets with that package pile driver. After the match, Alex Abrahantes on behalf of Penta El Zero Miedo. He says, hey, Malachi Black, you're not that scary, and we want a piece of you, pal. Malachi Black comes out, attacks Penta, but the Varsity Blondes, with Julia Hart this week in tow, looking a lot more different than she ever did before, they come out and they start beating the living crap out of Malachi Black. Julia Hart, at this point in time, says, leave him alone, he's had enough. Kind of say, show pity on him. And obviously the Varsity Blondes were taken back by that. But before you can really think too much about it, lights go out. And unlike 15 times last week, this time when the lights go back on, we finally have the debut of Brody King, which I think we all knew was coming and going to be one of the first members of the House of Black. That is exactly what happens. And it's fantastic. Brody King shows up. He and Malachi Black then beat the shit out of everybody else. Not Julia Hart, though. Julia Hart was not really part of that equation at that point. But something to keep an eye on, as many people speculate Julia Hart will be a member of the House of Black. And we have to talk about this. Happened a little bit later in the show, but we're going to talk about it right now. Pac sprayed in both eyes. And something's a little different. He had a vignette speaking about his eyesight, how he was blinded. Mr. Bastard, you may not ever see again. And talking about some of the dark things that he's been going through mentally. But this is a calmer, more relaxed Pac. He never gets upset. He never flips out like he usually does. He says he's never seen more clear, and he actually thanked Malachi Black for the blessing. My partner Vladi Dottie, he has said that Pac will be a member of the House of Black. After this vignette, I am actually going to agree with him right here. So keep an eye on it. The House of Black is really forming, and that's a pretty good start with those three. Actually, four if you count Julia Hart. Oh, and one more thing to note about Julia Hart. She was not dressed up like an extra for that Mickey You So Fine video. She was actually dressed jeans and a black t-shirt with a patch over her eye. So obviously something is definitely up with her character. She's going to be in the House of Black. We know that. But I think it's going to be very good for her and a good opportunity for her for sure. So good for Julia Hart. And I'm looking forward to see what you can do. Hey, with a last name like that, come on. Bear Country versus the Acclaimed, very good match. And the Acclaimed win again. They really put Acclaimed as being one of the best tag teams on the planet. They continued to repeat that they're the number one ranked tag team. They win again. But they beat with Sting and Darby last time. So as they were leaving, Sting said, let me tell you stuff, you punk-ass bitches. And Sting came out with a bat. And as they were kind of going away from Sting, Darby came in with his skateboard from the other side, beat the crap out of them. They're holding tall. And it looks like Sting and Darby are the tag team will become more of a thing. They might actually be one of the many in the tag team title scene. They might need a second belt, guys. I know a lot of people are not in for all these belts, but they might need a second championship for the tag team division. There's just too many. There really is. And there were some great matches back in the day for the United States Tag Team Champions back in the old NWA days. Between the Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, the Horseman. I mean, they all had those tag team titles were prestigious as well. You could do the same thing here because the tag team division is that good. And it shouldn't be something, oh, we can't do that because you can do that because it's so good. You should be proud of it. But I digress. The problem is if you ever have your tag division ever gets shitty, then it's going to be lame. So, Matt Hardy is in the back, and this time he's a little bit more dejected. He's saying that something's got to change. He says maybe he's been focusing too much on the young talent in the HFO. And then Andrade El Idolo, he come out and he tells him, yeah. I actually love Andrade cutting promos. I know people don't think they can understand him all that well. I think he's great. Very reminiscent. Have you ever seen Man on Fire with Denzel Washington? Yeah, that one. The mob boss at the end who's negotiating, he kind of sounds like that. A nice, cartel mob boss. I really like that kind of vibe. Anyways, Andrade says to Matt Hardy, appeals to his business and says he wants to have a talk with him. Matt Hardy said, not on camera, let's go in the back. And Private Party thought they could go with him, but Matt Hardy told them to stay back. That tells me This is setting up a storyline for Matt Hardy to turn babyface when another Hardy's going to be showing up in AEW, which we know is going to happen. So this is just the beginning, and then you might see the Hardys feud with Andrade and whoever else. So main event time, we had Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia for the fake TNT Championship, which I'm supposed to care about. Anyway, started off really good. Very, very hard-hitting match. A lot of passion. You can tell these two guys really hate each other in terms of storyline. They really showed that passion on screen. And look, these guys did what they needed to do, and it was fantastic. There was some major production issues in this segment, though. Eddie Kingston came down, the camera didn't pick it up. And then Eddie Kingston got jumped later on, the camera didn't pick it up. So it was like he was there, but he really wasn't. It was really weird. Toward the end of the match, you had Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia going at it. And 2.0 comes down, like as I said before. 2.0 came down, attacked Kingston. No one said a word. No one said anything. And by the way, they also didn't say a word when Kingston came down. So I know I already said that. It's just still mind-boggling to me. But you see 2.0 beat up Jericho, take him out. And then they try to interfere in the match on behalf of Garcia. Not Matt Lee takes a kick to the face. As they were trying to interfere, Daniel Garcia is pushed into a member of 2.0. And he hits his finisher. And it just didn't look good. It was this really obvious slap to the knee. It was really amateur hour. No offense, Sammy. I don't like when the shows go off air. But that's not how it went off air, folks. No. Because after the match, 2.0 and Garcia start attacking Guevara. And in comes Jericho and Kingston to even the odds and chase the heels away. But obviously, Kingston and Jericho have their issue. And Jericho already hit one member of the 2.0, knocked him out with the bat. And Kingston was about to get his off on the other member. But Jericho came in and hit him with a bat as well. And Kingston was like, yo, that was my guy. And then they kind of started shoving and looking at each other in a weird, mean way, like they're going to fight. So Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho is full blast. That's exciting. And that was this episode of Dynamite. We did it fast for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show. I thought there were a lot of nice surprises and cool things to see. I thought some of the wrestling wasn't as good as it usually is, quite frankly. But again, we're really setting the groundwork for a lot of major storylines that's going to propel us towards Revolution. We're less than 2 months away from Revolution, so we're starting to percolate. Are they going to have CM Punk and MJF wait all the way to Revolution? Who is Hangman going to face at Revolution? We know he's going to face Lance Archer in the short term, probably at Beach Break. But what do we got going on with that? What do we have going on with the Horsemen and everything going on in that circle? Where's Cody Rhodes? The House of Black is now starting to form. So there's a lot of things going on. Definitely check out Rampage this Friday night, where you're going to see the Tag Team Championships on the line. Jurassic Express defending against the two more entertaining members of the Dark Order. John, and that's hard to say because they're all entertaining. John Silver and Alex Reynolds get their shot at the Tag Team Championships. I sincerely doubt they beat Jurassic Express, but who knows? This is Silicon Steve Valli. This has been your AEW Dynamite review for January 12th, 2022. Check us out on Saturday morning where we're going to have a Rampage and SmackDown review. Oodle lolly, loads of fun. Thanks, folks, for listening to High Spots and Cheap Pops. Silicon Steve Valli out. You're end of the lesson. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. We love you. Take care. This is Silicon Steve Valli for High Spots and Cheap Pops. Hit subscribe.